what were some of those adolescent experiences? Like, were you hip hop heads? You feel me? Were you cool nerds? Uh, I one of the questions is answered. Were you comic book heads? Like, what were you Boy Scouts? You know what I'm saying? What was it, man, that helped you, that you think really kind of helped formulate the men that you became?
Go ahead, Jake. That's you. I've
Um,
been talking for a minute, so
that's a really good question. I didn't touch on it that much because I thought you just wanted us to give you everything up until this point. So I kind of did what CEO got cut off on, and then he went back. Um, my parents, shaped my whole life a lot. I had both my parents and my grandmother in my household till I was a teenager. Then my grandmother kind of, moved out, got her own place. Um, I had all my friends had their mom and their dad. Most of my friends are of Caribbean background, just in the city I'm from. Like, it's just a mixture of all cultures. I played a lot of sports. My brother was like a real high level athlete. So I knew everybody de facto by being my brother's little brother. So I knew all of the tough guys. I knew all of the cool guys. Even when my friends was like, yo, you know him? I'm like, yeah, that's so-and-so. But to them, they was like, oh, no, that's so-and-so, right? Like, he's a big name. How do you know him? Calling him by his given name, not his, whatever name you want to nickname, right? That one of these people that I'm talking about, I remember this happened. I wasn't quite an adolescent yet. I was like still like 9, 10. And he is very black. Like, it's a very black city. Like, at least to me, it felt like it. It felt like black people were the mayor, black people were the this, the that. The only thing that black people really didn't seem to be that much was the police. But everything else black people were in my city. And we used to all play baseball in my city. Like, we were really good at baseball, really good at basketball, really good at football. Like, we were known in our whole county. Look it up if you wanted to. When you look up that county, Westchester, we dominated, right, my city. And baseball was something we were really, really good at, and we would always be the only black team, all black. Like, we would be all black team, and we would be really good at baseball. And I remember some other team that wasn't black, they were white, came to our city to play us. And we were watching our older brothers play because all the little brothers hung out together. Everybody that was everybody had a big brother that was the same team. And I remember this one friend, he was like a year older than me, but I looked up to him. And this was the first time I ever seen this happen from somebody I directly knew. The white kid called us niggers. And when I tell you that he applied pressure to that white boy, I never seen nothing like that. So at that point, I had no fear of people or none of that. And I thought it was a good thing. And that shaped my life to this day. I always tell that story. His name is Keith Williams. Shout out to him. He was a really high level athlete. He's a good dude. You know what I mean? And I publicly told that story, how that experience right there probably set the tone for how I behave moving forward in my life, with a level of pride and a level of ability to always voice up these things and recognize issues between our people and other cultures. So that would probably be one of the biggest positive. That was a negative that turned into positive, because getting called that by somebody white is crazy, especially when you're like 9. But see him and be brave enough to this white boy and anybody. And I think he punched him in the face, actually. I think he punched him in the face, which is pretty bold, right? Especially with the culture and everything. But it was needed, it was warranted. And to me, that's something that, along with seeing black excellence, like seeing black excellence in every facet. I'm talking about sports. I'm talking about musically. I'm talking about in entertainment. You know what I mean? I'm talking about in education. Like, I saw it everywhere. Like, both my parents are avid readers. Like, I got books everywhere, man. No exaggeration. I got books everywhere in my, you know what I mean? Me and my wife are avid readers, but it was normalized for my household. I can't speak for my friends. And then the other thing is my dad. And my mom is amazing. My mom was very street smart. I don't know how my dad got my mom. I'll tell you that right now. Like, I don't know how he pulled it off. Shout out my dad. Because my mom was just like that lady. But my dad was like, always seemed like a nerd to me. And, maybe at sometimes I was young, I didn't really like it. Because I'm like, my dad is like nerdy, right? But my dad always had a computer. We always had internet ahead of the curve. We always had technology ahead of everybody in my city and other cities, right? So my dad had us, we had cable mode in the 90s. Meaning we had super fast internet in like 1999. Like, I didn't understand what he was doing and what he was setting me up for in the future. But those are two instances in my adolescence, in my pre-adolescence, that I can say shaped it. And then just hustling with my cousins, shoveling snow at a young age, making money. I was a caddy. That was a shock for me culturally. It taught me a lot about the world and how these white men conduct business and how they talk, and just observing it, right? And then seeing how a lot of black men work hard and they make a lot of money, but they don't get to talk about it because it's off the books. It's caddy, and you make it off of tips, and they pay you cash. But I learned a lot on that golf course, man. So those are three, my adolescent and my pre-adolescent, that shaped me. CEO will have his own, but those right there are three things. So my dad with the internet and technology, my friend Keith Williams doing that instance of standing up for all of us when this kid said something crazy, and then me going out there and riding the caddy for 2 summers. And for the age, I made a ton of bread. And I didn't really understand the money, but understood the lessons. I learned how to play chess with those black men caddying. That's why I first learned how to play chess in the 9th grade, was because the black men taught me. I learned a lot about life. I learned a lot about working extra hard. I had to be up at like 3:30 in the morning. My dad would drop me off at 40, and then I wait around for an hour and a half to caddy. So it just taught me a lot. I'd be there all day, miss friends the whole summer, and just those are mine. I don't want to take up too much time, but I wanted to give a good answer to the question because it's really.
Oh no, you good. That's a super duper well rounded answer that you gave, and I can appreciate